Ariana Grande and Islam in the UK. Yes, this sounds insane, but guys, let me cook, because I have had a theory about this country for a while now. And I'm going to share that theory with you right now. I believe that England, I'll speak for England, because all of the different countries I think are different in different ways and different things can happen. I think there is a high chance England is going to become an Islamic country. Okay? Now, we're going to get to why I think that later in the video. First of all, let's address the Ariana Grande concert, why I'm even mentioning it. And let's also talk about these riots, because right now everybody's talking about the riots and everybody's so surprised. Everybody's wondering, how did we get here? And I'm like, how did you guys not know we were going to get here? How did you not know? How did you not realize that this was going to happen? I literally said in videos like weeks ago, before this situation went down, right? I literally said to you guys, I said, the political correctness in this country is why the government and the powers that be get away with these sketchy things that they be doing. So today, I'm going to give you 2 examples about what I'm talking about and how these things that happen, I feel like, are less of just random events and more of just targeted strategic moves to emotionally manipulate the British, or rather, let's say English. Let's keep this to English for now. The English public. Stay with me. So let's start with the UK riots. Like I said, if you don't know what happened, basically it all kicked off because this 17-year-old young man called Axel or something stabbed a few children. It was horrific. And can I just say that the second I saw that photograph, the second I saw just the thumbnail, wherever I saw the news thumbnail of it, I already knew everything that I'm already telling you now. I knew all I needed to know because I've been watching the games these people have been playing. I've been trying to tell you guys about this. If it's your first time on my channel, you should subscribe so that you can be ahead if you listen, because I've been talking about this stuff forever. And now everybody's shocked and like, what are we shocked about? But anyway, I knew exactly what was going on here. And I knew exactly I knew exactly what was going on. I knew exactly what the purpose was, and I anticipated what was going to happen. He's done this thing. Now, people are bringing his religion, obviously, into question, yada, yada, yada. But even not just that, also just the overall ideas and issues and changes and developments with the immigration that has taken place in this country, whether it be just legal immigration, illegal immigration, people coming as refugees, etc. Like I said to you guys, it does not help. It's funny to me because it's not funny like the situation, but the thing that's funny to me about it all is this: everybody's shocked. And I don't know why people are shocked, because this is the United Kingdom and we are politically correct. You do not discuss politics, you do not discuss religion, you do not discuss all of this. In fact, I, who was born in the United States, knows that the people here talk about Americans like they're so like in your face. They're so in your face. Yeah, maybe if we were more in each other's faces, people wouldn't be surprised when all of a sudden a whole bunch of people seem to have some very strong feelings about what's going on, because we're all keeping it to ourselves and we're all hiding it and we're all being politically correct because that's what we do. And that's how the government and whoever else in the powers that be are able to emotionally manipulate us. Because then we don't really know what people are thinking. Like I say all the time, the only way you know what English people are thinking a lot of the time when it comes to politics, religion, etc., is when you hear the results of the votes, because everybody does their talking in the voting booth, such as Brexit. Another time where people were surprised. People thought, oh, there's no way. And I remember everybody around the country was like, anybody you talk to, oh, there's no way there's gonna be Brexit. There's no way, because the more acceptable thing to talk about at the time was that we're not going to leave the EU than to suggest that we do leave the EU. So when it happened, everyone's all like, oh, we don't know what happened. And I'm like, somebody voted in favor for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? let's come back to this in a second and talk about Ariana Grande, because this is a bit of an insane theory, but I feel like I've got going somewhere with this, right? Because there was a few things that stuck out as sketchy to me. So if you guys didn't know, I think it was 2017. Anyways, Ariana Grande had a concert in Manchester in which there was a terrorist attack. Okay. Now, and by a terrorist attack, there was like an explosion. I think like it's really actually a tragedy. Like 22 people died. I think it was 22 people died, like 47 people injured. And it's horrific. Now, before I get into this and before I start to nitpick, I want you guys to understand that the reason why I'm talking about all this stuff is because I am sick and tired of watching the powers that be play very smart strategic games while we all run around blindly dying, having destruction and division at the hands of these people and then wondering where it came from. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out, how did this happen in the first place is what I'm trying to figure out. So anyway, the first thing I thought that was sketchy about this whole concert thing was that the whatever device explosive exploded after her last song. Now, you can say that's far-fetched, and that's okay. I'm okay with the idea that that's far-fetched because it's potentially far-fetched. But my thinking is, first of all, if you're going to do an attack, why would you wait for the last song? Well, how would they know that it was the last song? Why would you wait for the last song? It almost seems to me, the fact that was exactly after the last song is what suggests to me that this was like planned, is basically what I'm trying to say. The long and short of it is I'm trying to say that I think it was planned. I think it was planned on purpose. Why? Because the aftermath. It's a big tragedy. It's on the news. Again, we're seeing a certain particular group being put on the map in a very negative sense, right? The terrorists, etc. We're reopening the wounds. Notice how there's always these things that happen, and I notice that this happens a lot, where the governments, the powers that be, right? The demonic powers that be, the kingdom of darkness, we'll refer to the kingdom of darkness, right? Does this thing of reopening old wounds consistently in order to create division. So, for example, it's like with the whole, like I'm saying, ever since 9/11, at every given point, because of that, that's now a reference point for a reason for people to keep having that wound reopened, right? Every time it happens. These issues between black and white people, right? Again, just like this shooting that happened in the United States where a police officer shot this black woman. And I thought, oh, shock. Once again, we've got another thing where there's going to be divisiveness. Because now you're going to rile up all the black people to be like this. And then you know what I'm saying? It causes the division again. They're doing it on purpose, right? Because that's what the enemy does, divide and conquer. So I'm thinking, what was the purpose of this? Well, emotional manipulation, just like the same with the UK riots. Because after the aftermath is that now Ariana Grande had this big One Love Manchester concert for charity, and now everybody loves Ariana and they're so grateful to her for she really cares about her fans. So first of all, that means she's now heavily influential in that area of England, because people, and for a lot of people, because they're going to be like, wow, how noble of her to come through and like really care about the people. I personally think those are crocodile tears. I think the whole thing was planned. I truly believe the whole thing was planned. Just like I do, honestly, the same thing with the riots here. I think both of those events were planned. Why? Emotional manipulation. In terms of Ariana Grande, an opportunity to rile up the people, cause a sense of divisiveness, cause a lack of safety, right? It's just like how in the United States we have these school shooters, and then people are like, it's so sad that when I go to school now, I have to think about this as a teacher, I have to worry about that. And it's like, it's causing this division. Because even with those, I've said it to you guys before, I've done videos about these things. You look into all these things and there's always something weird and sketchy going on. People that didn't retaliate, people that that knew that somebody wasn't okay in the head. Like, because what was it that I heard about this guy, Axel, the one from the UK riots? Anyway, nevertheless, emotional manipulation. This country is one of the best places to emotionally manipulate because people don't really say things out loud. Like I said, it's all politically correct. We do not discuss religion. We do not discuss politics. We do not discuss anything that can rock the boat, anything that can make anyone uncomfortable. And that is why all we do is what? talk about the weather. Now, I have to say, living in this country, talking about the weather has a bit of extra levels to it because the weather is crazy out here. For real. But these are the consequences the consequences of the actions that we paid. And like I said, I don't know why people are surprised about any of this. I'm not surprised by any of it. Every time I see this, I can see exactly what's happening, because then the people start arguing, we start commenting, we start doing this. Then if the government decides, well, and then they'll pretend that they're doing this because of our reaction when that's what they wanted to do anyway. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's perfect gameplay. We're literally being played like pawns in a game of chess. Do you understand what I'm saying here? I don't know if you guys are ready to hear this. Like, it's actually sickening to me and so disappointing that I'm here trying to tell everybody, like, this is what's going on and this is what your government is trying to do. Listen, y'all, I've got no skin in the game, okay? I'm of African descent. I'm a United States citizen. I've grown up in this country. I don't have a home anywhere. No one is claiming me. Well, actually, the United States are probably claiming, to be fair. Actually, the United States are the people who've claimed me the most, ironically. Can you imagine? Right? And so I'm just saying this as somebody who, and again, even when it comes to issues like immigration, migration, listen, I've grown up in this country and I've seen stuff. That's why I'm not surprised about these UK riots. I've seen what goes down in this country. I've seen that there are areas that become completely overcome by certain groups of people. And when I'm saying that, I'm not trying to not say Islam, because it's not just, there's lots of different, there's communities, oh gosh, let me not get into the other communities that I've seen where I will feel uncomfortable. And like, I'll feel uncomfortable in an area, and it won't be because there's a whole bunch of white people. In fact, I grew up around mostly white people in the town that I'm from. Well, I say, okay. Yeah, predominantly white people, actually. And I didn't feel uncomfortable in any way, shape, and form, but just to be honest, I felt more uncomfortable when I go to these areas of other people who've come either by, I don't know what ways that they've come. And again, the ironies of it all is that somebody like myself, who is a legal immigrant, as in I've never lived anywhere illegally, right? Never. In terms of the people that just jump borders and come in from wherever, to refugees, to illegal immigrants, to legal immigrants are the least well off of all of them by the time if you've actually made it to wherever you're going. And I remember literally growing up, when I was growing up when I was quite young, I was probably like, how old was I? Actually, I'd only been in the country for not that long. Yeah, I was like probably like 9. And I remember, because the reason we were able to move is because we came on my mum's work visa, because my mum works in healthcare. She's a healthcare professional. She's qualified in the United States and she's qualified here, and she keeps her qualifications in both. She has done that for well over 20 years now. Actually, yeah, it has to be, because she was doing that when I was born. So she's been doing it for at least 27 years now, probably like 28, you know what I'm saying? So she comes legally, does what she's doing, you know what I'm saying? Just looking after people's whatevers. I remember her saying to me, you know that lady across the road, and this was I'll just say, this is a lady from Eastern Europe, okay? I remember her saying, you know that the government gives them money just because they don't speak English, so they can't hold a job. And I thought, wow, isn't that fascinating? Meanwhile, on the other hand, my mum, who is qualified, working professional, has to follow all of these rules and extra hours and do all these extra things, which I think is good. I think a country should have its own boundaries and should have its own rules and things about what they do and don't allow to come in and out of their country. That's why I'm trying to say to the British public, I hope this is what you guys are taking away from what I'm saying. I'm not targeting any groups. I'm just trying to say that if you take a back seat and you keep with this political correctness, it's not going to help nobody. You're not going to get no further. Other people are going to come and take out. This is what winners do. Winners in history. Listen, I've been deep diving into history, and I've realized that, wow, so many of the winners in history, they were just ruthless enough to do what they had to do. You're not going to get anywhere by the political correctness. It's like I'm saying here, people will be upset, oh, there's a terrorist attack, blah, 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 blah. You're trying to blame Islamic this. Listen, It's more comfortable in this country to be a Muslim than it is to be Christian. I remember when I was 13, I had to do work experience, right? And we're working in this retail store, right? We're working in this retail store, and my friend that I was working with, and for all intents and purposes, I'll state her race, she was white, okay, is wearing, so she was my friend, and she was wearing this little necklace, a little cross necklace. It was tiny, like just a tiny little piece of jewelry, like something that anybody would just have, a random piece of jewelry. I remember a customer asked her to take it off because they found it offensive. Meanwhile, in this country, I don't know if it's still like this, but it actually, yeah, the last time I checked, if you're Muslim, you can get 5 different times slots off work to go and pray. If you want to wear the full, whatever you call it, you know, that the women wear where you can only see their eyes, you're allowed to do that. But it's offensive for me to bring, for somebody to wear a cross. But you took the Bibles out from the hotels. Remember when the hotels used to all have Bibles in them? I used to love that. And you call this a Christian country. So I'm trying to say, so I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there with some food for thought. Let's just look at this video as an opportunity of food for thought, right? Certain things, there's some coincidences that seem a little bit too coinkadinkle for me. Certain opportunities for division and emotional manipulation to cause us, the public, to then, because now, if all of a sudden they decide to do some vote next week or the week after, or, oh, we want to do this, if the government now wants a reason to try and justify doing something insane that we wouldn't have accepted before these UK riots, then we are going to be more inclined to agree to it. Same like we would have been after the Ariana Grande thing. I'm just throwing ideas out there. If this is your first time at my channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think I sound crazy? Or are you realizing that maybe it's actually the world we're living in that's crazy? Because if life's a game, let's play to win. God bless every single one of you. God loves you. I love you. And I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.